We had Gareth Roberts, who was a nurse. We had Donna Campbell, who was a healthcare support worker. We had Jitendra Rathod, who was a surgeon. We had Kevin Smith, he was a plaster technician. Oscar King Jr., hospital porter. Albert Rico, a hospital porter. Sarah Trollope, a nurse. Julie Omar, a nurse. Amor Gatino, a nurse. Amy O'Rourke, a nurse. Dr. Abdul Mabul Chowdhury, a consultant neurologist. Dr. Edmund Adedeji, a doctor. Fayez Ayaji, a GP. Elsie Sazuz, a care home nurse. We had Leilani Deirit, who is a nurse. Child, I'm getting emotional. We had Dolat Suelto, who was a nurse. Alice Kit Tak Ong, who was a nurse. Janice Graham, who was a nurse. Saeed Haider, who was a GP. We had Barbara Moore, who's a patient discharge planner. We had Dr. Alfa Sadhu, who was a doctor. Lindsay Coventry, midwife. Glenn Corbin, a nurse. Rebecca Mack, a nurse. Leah Glanister, a nurse. John Algos, a nurse. Rima Nasreen, a nurse. Sami Shusha, a researcher. Thomas Harvey, a nurse. Dr. Amjad Al-Hawrani, a consultant. Pooja Sharma, a pharmacist. Whew, let me just... these... Dr. Habib Zaidi, a doctor. Dr. Adil Al-Dayar, a transplant surgeon. Dr. Anton, a consultant. Wow. And apologies if I miss any names, but these names need to be spoken about. They need to be up in the air, screamed, put on plaques. These people are war heroes. These people have left their families to defend people, and now the families are all in mourning. They're all in mourning, including mine. Unfortunately, I lost my grandfather, and everybody's in mourning still because it's just happened so quickly. And of course, coronavirus may not be the sole reason for why somebody has passed away, but it is an underlying reason and a contributing factor to their demise. And the majority of individuals from the NHF frontline staff that have passed away are minority individuals. Minority individuals, and this is happening left, right, and center. And it also was predicted that, a lot of Muslims, whether it be Asians or Arabs, a lot of Muslims are very prone to coronavirus because they live in multi-generational houses. And it's such a good point. Every Saturday, Sunday, a lot of the cousins and family would go to my nan's house, and there you have 4 generations. My nan, you would have then my mother who would be there, for example. So that's 2 generations. Then you would have cousins or siblings, 3rd generations. Then only nieces or nephews, 4 generations. Not all living together, but they would all be, seeing each other quite frequently at one particular place, a multi-generational household. And you're passing things on to elder people. And this is the thing, when you look after older people, when you're having a pandemic, you can't just leave them. How can they look after themselves at the age of 91, 92, 93? They can't, especially when they've had carers and loved ones around them. You can't just leave them. So somebody has to stay with them, but then somebody has to also prevent themselves from spreading anything and be careful about it. Then they can't leave the house. How can they do the shopping? It's just beyond crazy. Problems after problems after problems after problems after flipping problems. This is the pandemic, and it really just irks my fucking brain sometimes. I don't even mean to swear, but it irks my brain when I'm seeing people going to house parties. I'm seeing friends going to house parties. They're going to, sleepovers. I'm seeing all this stuff. People just don't care. It's just jealousy. This is what this really pandemic has really made me realize, that you have people who are just so tremendously selfish. It's just actually disgusting, man. It's just beyond filth in my head. It's just beyond filth. People don't see or understand the reality of situations, and they think, things are going to be okay now. But then when something happens randomly, what's going to happen next? You're going to be screaming, you're going to be confused. Woe is me, I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have done this. But it's too little, too late. Too little, too damn late. Too little, too damn flipping late, man. I can't get over that Chicago stat that was really given. The city reported Chicago has the 70% of the coronavirus victims in Chicago were black, despite the fact that black people only represent 1/3 of the population. This is where structural and environmental racism comes into it, because it fuels and enables minority individuals and groups of people, whether it be black or brown, to live in low and poor socio-economic environments fueled by white supremacy, fueled by institutional racism, fueled by environmental racism, fueled by judiciary racism. So this notion that we are all equal when it comes to this particular virus is absolute nonsense. Some people don't even have a roof on their heads. Some people are living with 10 people under their damn roofs. Some people have children to look after. Some people live in box little rooms. Some people are in domestic relationships, and that's obviously gone to a massive rise because they're living with their abusers. Out of 21 of them were minority individuals. 35% of patients in ICU are minority individuals. These are shocking statistics. Shocking statistics. And the most recent death was a pregnant NHS nurse who dies with corona, but the baby was saved. A heavily pregnant nurse who had tested positive for corona has died. Mary, 28, underwent an emergency cesarean to deliver and save her baby daughter. The little girl is understood to be alive and being cared for, but it's not clear if she has tested positive for the disease. Colleagues at Luton and Dunstable Hospital said Mary was a fabulous nurse and a great example for what we stand for. How sad is that, man? Whether the baby is, meant to be seen as some kind of moral hope, that is so sad. The baby has now entered into a world without their mother. The mother was an NHS staff member. The NHS staff, David Card, said the survival of her baby daughter was a beacon of light at this very dark time. Mary worked here for 5 years and was a highly valued and loved member of our team, a fantastic nurse and a great example of what we stand for in the Trust. She tested positive for corona after being tested on the 5th of April and was admitted to the hospital on the 7th of April. Our thoughts and deepest condolences are with Mary's family and friends at this sad time. We ask that the family's privacy and respected at this time. How sad is that? A GoFundMe has been set up and so far they've raised £10,000. How distraught must the husband be? The child is not going to grow up without a mother, and the mother is a black woman. How sad is that? It's just disgusting, man.